instead of distraction, I've decided my new word is alternative focus. I am fantastic at allowing distractions. I wake up in the morning and I check out my day and I think about all the things that I want to accomplish. It's often filled with miscellaneous projects and hopeful accomplishments that I really want to do. There's no guarantee that I'm going to do them, but some I look forward to more, and others are like the have to, not really thrilled with the fact that I have to take care of them, and yet they're there, right? Some days I'll wake up and there will actually be an entire day where I can fill it with want to activities. And sometimes those want to activities turn into the activities that I've been procrastinating on and really just need to button up and clean up and get back on target. There have been plenty of times where I have set out to accomplish specific things. And I get into the day and I'm working on things and there's a distraction that pulls me away here. And then I'll start getting back into it and there's a distraction that'll pull me away there. And then I'll come back and I'll get into it again. And I ended up really frustrated about the fact that I am continually pulled away from whatever it is that I felt like I really needed to focus on for the day. And I end the day just disappointed in the lack of progress on said needed things to do. Now, as an own your shit kind of teacher, the thing with this is that I have to own the fact that I am choosing to allow these distractions to pull me away from whatever it is that I claimed that morning I needed to take care of. Hear that again. I am choosing to allow the distractions that come in and pull me away from whatever project it is that I said I needed to do in the first place. Now, when I stop and I ask myself, why am I distracting? Why am I allowing all of these distractions to happen? Sometimes I don't know the answer and I'm super frustrated and want to stomp my feet and throw a little 2-year-old temper tantrum. Other times the answer is readily available and I am more than happy to attend to whatever the issue is. There are also other times where I kind of know the answer, but I really don't want to face the answer and acknowledge that that's what's really going on. And so I would rather continue actively avoiding it and allowing the distractions than facing the truth of why I'm allowing them. And then I just pretend like I'm still frustrated and annoyed, even though I know why I'm allowing myself to be distracted. On occasion, it can be this horrible cycle that just keeps swirling down the drain. I know I'm not getting anywhere, and yet it's right there. If I would just stop and own whatever emotion was going on in the moment, I'd stop being distracted and make a lot of progress on whatever it is that I think that I'm supposed to be working on. Recently, I've become super aware of my own mental state. I've become aware of the challenges and the way that my brain just kind of says, I need to shut down. And when it needs to shut down and take a break, that's when I allow a distraction to come in and pull me away from whatever it is that I was attempting to do in the first place. The more balls that I try to put in the air and keep in the air, the more I was actually dropping and the worse that things were getting. And so I needed to truly understand what the issue was and what I needed to do about it. So enter introspection, enter conversations, enter an attempt at compassion and understanding for myself so that I could do even better and improve my state of being. Since I knew that my brain was being overwhelmed by the amount of things or the stress in the things that I needed to achieve during the day, my brain was checking out and I was accepting these distractions. I needed to recognize the additional self-care that was required in this moment. The additional self-care that my mind needed, right? I've talked about the 4 bodies and how your emotional body needs certain self-care, your physical, your spiritual, your mental. Well, my mental body was creating distractions so that it could have a moment to breathe instead of being down in the trenches trying to handle whatever was being handled. Well, you know me and my penchant for changing words up. So I choose graduation instead of retirement, because graduation is filled with hope and opportunity, whereas retirement just feels like the end of something. Or I choose musing instead of journaling because musing more accurately describes exactly what it is that I do. I muse about life and inspiration and awe and the myriad of things that just happen to us on a daily basis. So I didn't like the word distraction. I was constantly being distracted, and yet I didn't like the word distraction. So I've decided that I needed to come up with a new word. So, in that vein of thinking and changing words up and choosing something new and different, instead of distraction, I've decided my new word is alternative focus. It feels way more intentional. When my brain starts to wander, or when something comes in and says it's time to take a break, I can choose that alternative focus. Maybe I need to have a snack of cheese and crackers or a walk around the property. Maybe I need to do some stretching. Perhaps it's time to go run an errand and have an alternative focus and still achieve something. Or maybe a nap is the perfect reset for me to be able to give my mind a break and then come back to whatever it is that I needed to do in the first place. The key is recognizing the alternative focus. At the end of the day now, I can look at my day and instead of saying, gosh, I was so distracted, because the distractions don't feel like I achieved something. They don't feel like I succeeded in accomplishing something throughout my day. It just feels like that was a pain in the butt and it was interrupting me. When I call it an alternative focus, instead, I can still look at it and say, wow, I actually got a lot done today. I succeeded in so many different areas, and I chose to take that distraction. I chose to take that alternative focus so that I could give my mind a break, so that I could give my mind a rest, so that I could come back refreshed and renewed. It's another one of those switches. It's another one of those mental flips in my brain. And I don't know. I hope that you kind of do the same thing. I hope that you taken the opportunity to switch a word around. I'm sure that there are plenty of them in your life that you're like, I just really don't like that. But if you flip it on its head and try something new, you may find that it's freeing and exciting and uplifting and encouraging when you look at it from a different point of view. I'm loving my alternative focus. I'm loving the concept. I'm loving how much better it feels. And my days don't feel near as heavy anymore. When I have an alternative focus and I just need to scroll for a minute or do a puzzle, whatever that is, it feels good because I'm allowing that instead of fighting it. And I'm congratulating myself for the self-care instead of beating myself up for not accomplishing whatever the initial focus was. But I still succeeded in another one. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you again next week.